on live right now.
Don't forget to unmute me too.
The news and views expressed herein are the sole property of Kenosha Today. Certain portions of this program may be unsuitable for children, sensitive adults, small animals, and the general public. Viewer discretion is advised. What do you think, Uncle Scottie? Are you ready to do this?
Hit the button and let's go. Rock and roll.
Here we are.
Good morning, everybody. This is Uncle Scottie Barter, and along with my personal caregiver, Elmo the Insane Schneider, we are your wartime TV hosts, and welcome to the Saturday, March 28th edition of the all-new Kenosha Today Breakfast Club. If you've been with us, following us all week, that show that we start at 2 in the afternoon is the daily update. And anyway, we are coming to you live and local this morning from the Barter Manor studio, which we're going to be calling home for at least until April 24th. And apparently we are considered by some, not sure who, essentially something.
Essential personnel.
We are declared essential by the non-essential people. And as you can see, we are streaming live across the very cold and damp cornfields of not only the Midwest, but all across the entire planet.
It's not going to be that cold today. It's supposed to be almost 60.
Right. Up to 60, but it rained most of the night. So you folks over in Italy and China, I mean, we feel your pain. Mm-hmm. At any rate, we are brought to you this morning by our major sponsors, Barter's Financial Planning Services, along with the Union Park Tavern and a host of other very fine local businesses. And looks like we have most of our kinks worked out. We're going to maybe improve some while we take some phone calls. We haven't had many lately, but again, it's new, so there's the phone number.
597-3020. Somebody give us a call to make sure this thing works. So, otherwise, I'll have to.
At any rate, for those who are used to listening to us in AM, as you haven't heard by now, when I decided to make a decision about a month ago and stay committed to the Kenosha area and have a true meaning to the term live and local, bringing you the most up-to-date news, weather, some sports, mainly all cancellations, and entertainment. Jarts, yeah. We're going to do our version of the summer games, right? Mm-hmm. So if you watch the replay of this nonsense, you have to wait a little bit. It's just like if you want to watch it at noon today, you probably have to wait a couple hours again till...
Well, you can watch the other shows.
Oh, yeah, the other ones
are
all
there.
From the...
This takes a little while for YouTube to digest the thing and hurl us back out onto the internet. So.
Good analogy there. Everybody can now sign up with the thousands of our fans who have joined us and joined us on Facebook. It's 43 degrees here in the Kenosha Today Nation. Lots to go over, Elmo. I mean, it seems like every day, especially with this virus deal going on, something every single day. In fact, it changes almost by the hour, in some cases by the minute. If you haven't heard, yesterday the House passed the historic $2 trillion stimulus, and there was almost a little...
It's not a stimulus, it's an emergency funding measure. It's more accurate than that.
That's good. That's probably what it is. And there's some guidelines that you can go online and figure out how much you're getting. And generally, if you make it under $75,000, you're going to get $1,200, and it's going to be dispersed by how you file your income taxes. So if you get a direct deposit, you're going to get a direct deposit. If you get a paper check, you're going to get a paper check. And probably they plan on announcing in about 3 weeks when these are going to go out. And you really should file your 2019 taxes because the information they're going to use is based on that. And if you haven't filed it, I recommend that you do so. Even if you file an extension, that's going to delay your check coming to you. So just some food for thought there. This thing is getting way out of hand, in New York, in New York City. Somebody just told me this morning someone's dying every 17 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's over, the cases in the United States has reached more than 101,000. And the deaths are, 1,600 people, and it's increasing every day.
Well, still, the age of the average person that dies is 82.
Right. And some of these, the virus
They've got everything else wrong with them anyway, and
Yeah.
this just pushes, straw that broke the camel's
Yeah.
back. That's all it is. So.
And we heard just before we came on the air that their hotels are virtually empty, and I guess somebody suggested that they take those and convert them to hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise they're just sitting there. Stock market actually, although it took a dip yesterday of about 900 points, for the rest of the week it came back from what it was
Yep.
the week before.
Things will get straightened out.
And I guess when you, whatever you want to call it, $2 trillion in a financial rescue package, and that's going to help, people buying stock. There's a couple things that are really hurting, and that's the airline industries. And we'll get back to there's some things that they're it was in the news this morning. Kenosha Unified School District is going to be starting more online teaching. Of course, they're closed officially now till the end of April. But I don't know. I can't see them. What do you think, Elmo? They're going back anytime this year.
Play it by ear.
And, everything is online. This streaming is a whole new way of life to a lot of people. And there was a picture in the paper today. All these meetings that they're having are being streamed. Everything's done over the internet. And maybe this was about 5 years away, I'm guessing. But it speeded it up.
Yep, it's going to make some changes in the way business is done. What I find is interesting is, like in Chicago, you have all, like the TV news people are all doing it from their houses.
Yeah, they're basically looking at a computer and
And then they have a green screen
Right.
in back with, the weather guy and everything like that.
Yeah.
It's amazing they were able to get this all hooked up that fast, but they were able to do it.
So
So.
they got what about technicians and technicians and
Sure.
technicians. So, but yeah, they're getting through that, and even the big networks are being able to broadcast this way. And all their interviews where they used to have people come into their studio, that's all being done.
It's all remote. Well, they've been doing that
yeah.
remote for 8 million for a long time. So.
Here was I got this in the mail yesterday. President Trump's guidelines for America, and see that does light up, but I'm not going to take it right now. Listen and follow directions of your state and local authorities. If you feel sick, stay home. Do not go to work. In fact, nobody's going to work these days anyway.
Nope.
And for your children's sake, keep them at home. Contact your medical provider. And I believe the way this works, if you think you have the symptom, you can call, you have to get a note from your doctor before you can go to the hospital, I believe. But they have some of these drive-through deals where you can go and get tested if they have enough test kits around. I know there's a lot of places, a lot of cities that don't have them or have run out of them. And so if you have somebody, you're going to have to stay self-quarantine. Even if you're young, like us, Elmo, and we're considered healthy, like us, increase the risk for others. It's critical that you don't park or slow the spread of the virus. Work from home, avoid social gatherings, groups of more than 10 people. I think everybody's social distancing themselves from everybody. Avoid eating and drinking at bars and restaurants, so they've closed all those down. And as we talked yesterday, a lot of restaurants are still keeping pickups like Union Park Tavern is, right?
Yes.
And the studies that we read yesterday indicate you're not going to get it from the food, you're going to get it from somebody, but they're all using gloves and gowns and everything else. So you have to get out of the house and, otherwise you just can't stay here 24/7. For those married people that are locked up 24/7 that aren't used to that,
That's right.
it could be a little tense at times.
That's why they invented alcohol.
There you go. And always practice good hygiene. And as we talked yesterday, Elmo brought up, there's a study that said the hand sanitizer
It's not always worth the greatest. Soap and water are better than that because the sanitizer doesn't get into the cracks in your skin and stuff like that where the soap does.
So all of those people,
that was the explanation.
All those people that went out and paid $40 for a little hand sanitizer.
Yep.
But that's why we had a run shortage of toilet paper. Everybody, for some reason, thought this, unless they're just using that to because they were going to be indoors. But some places that I've seen, except for maybe Walmart, they still have their. Well, the Walmart didn't have toilet paper, but it seemed like everybody else has it. So
I was able to get bleach yesterday. That was
you were? Where'd you get
yes, Piggly Wiggly.
Oh,
They were out last time I was there.
well, I think it's a good idea that people or stores that used to be open for 24 hours now are closing at 10 or 11 and bringing in people to restock and clean. And
Right.
I didn't see the need.
The other interesting thing they found out is that all of these green cleaners, environmentally friendly and stuff like that, don't kill this thing. You got to use like bleach and ammonia and stuff like that. Yeah, it'll be good for the environment. Well, the reason it's good for the environment is it doesn't kill stuff.
That's a good thing. That's a good way of thinking. Earlier in the week, the Kenosha News ran an article of an employee at Walgreens, and today Amazon worker tested positive. I'm struggling with why they think that they have to put that in the paper. Right? If that's news, I don't know.
Ratings.
What's your opinion? Huh?
Ratings.
I mean, so it's why would you want to? This is just my thinking.
Identify where they are and everything.
Yeah, I can say in the north side, but to specifically say Walgreens, okay, here's the address, and the same thing. 1 out of 300 workers, so 3,000 in at
Amazon. Yep.
So, all right, so you send them home and quarantine them, and then you check everybody around them, gets tested, and but I just don't personally understand the deal. Number of cases statewide in Wisconsin climbed from 707 on Thursday to 842 on Friday. And in Lake County, right across the border, they had 184 positive cases. So Amazon's got 11 other facilities around it. Wasn't there one in Oak Creek?
No, they're still building it.
Okay.
Now, I saw an interesting map, and they had, where all the concentrations of the whole country, where all the concentrations of this stuff are. And like, pretty much in Wisconsin, there's Milwaukee and Madison and hardly anything anywhere else. Right. So they barely showed up on this map. So,
and then I came across this on our little news feed this morning. The first known cat
to test positive
in Belgium, and they said so the cat was 17 years old and had trouble breathing a week after its owner fell sick. So you know where the cat got it from. Yep. Health officials, the first known infection of a cat. 2 dogs apparently died in Hong Kong, and so
no, they were eaten.
Oh, they were eaten? No kidding. By who?
Well, don't they eat dogs over there? And cats.
We had that. There was 2 cases. One person got this in North Korea, and
they shot him.
Yeah, one dumb chump. He took him out in the back and says, "Here's how we're going to kill
this doing that
virus."
all the time anyway. So.
And what was the other thing? And it escapes me. But anyway, sad news to report that Fluffy the cat is dead at the age of 17.
Yeah.
Too bad.
That's an ancient cat.
Yeah, well, she was about due to go anyway, right?
My cat lived to 21. That was pretty amazing.
Is that the same for cats like they do in dog years? Like 7.
Yeah, I don't know what the formula is though.
But this cat had diarrhea, kept vomiting, breathing difficulties. But if you go back,
so did my cat right before I had it put down. So it was the same thing. It's probably not. What do they do? Test them now? That was like the head doctor or whatever, the health minister in Italy, is saying that the coronavirus deaths, or the China virus deaths, I guess, are way overstated there because basically, if you have any health condition and they're treating you in a hospital that is treating the coronavirus patients, no matter what kills you, they list it as a coronavirus death.
No wonder there's panic.
Right. So you could get admitted there and die of a heart attack. Oh, nope. Chinese virus. So you could go in there and the lunatic in the bed next to you could stab you to death and they would call it because of the coronavirus. So,
now that could happen in Chicago.
There's that, and I don't remember. France has the same screwed up reporting thing that they're trying to cover up some kind of death that's prevalent over there. So they call it something else. So a lot of this may more have to do with the government reporting of these deaths than what's actually going on.
Well, I suppose you have to have everybody, at least in this country, when you die, you have a death certificate. It's got to be signed by the medical examiner.
Well, they do over there too, except they're.
Anyway,
well, the other thing is, how many of these people get autopsies?
I don't think they have enough time to do autopsies right now.
Well, even before, like I said, this thing could have been prevalent, or before. Yep. They've got no idea.
Well,
Grandma got a cold. She's 90 years old. She died.
Put her in the freezer.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of deaths, former Braves, Milwaukee Braves owner, William Bartholomew, passed away. And how old is he? 91. He broke my heart. And when he moved the Braves to Atlanta, remember in '53 the Braves came from Boston, and then they were here, and he decides to go to bigger futures to Atlanta, and the quote in the paper here, Hall of Famer Henry Aaron was saying that he was the greatest owner I ever had the pleasure to play for. Well, what does that say about Bud Selig? Yeah, they brought him back for 2 years.
That's right, yeah.
And that's when they brought the designated hitter. And that, if they wouldn't have had the designated hitter, Hank would have been
gone.
Had about 715 home runs. But that designated hitter, when it came back in, I want to say it's the mid '70s, that brought back a lot of stars, or it allowed them to stay in the game. Let's face it, watching a pitcher bat wasn't, who cares? If you haven't heard now, all the parks in Kenosha are closed until all the playgrounds are closed immediately, and until further notice due to the state safer and home order, and that was issued by our glorious Governor Tony the Tiger Evers. The YMCA.
Excuse me.
You're not supposed to be coughing like this. YMCA announced that childcare will begin on Monday, and I'm not sure how they can. Well, it's temporarily closed to the members. How does this help or people that have to have a childcare because they really do have to go to work at someplace else, and where are they going to put this kid? I mean, they got to put him someplace, and I suppose if they did it right and did all the spacing and claimed it, I mean, it can be done, but otherwise people are hurting for money. And this stimulus or whatever you want to call it, I don't think $1,200 is going to go very far.
Yep.
I mean, average rent in a good place is probably $1,000. And
people don't save any money. That's the other thing. So
yeah, that's true. And
they'd rather spend $200 a month on their cable TV. So
there's a good example. I've got a number of tax clients that together are making 170-some thousand, living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
So how come? I said, well, you got a $900 lease payment for your car, and you got all these Netflix and everything else. And maybe this will teach people, hey, I could do without this now. Maybe I don't have to go back and have all these goodies. And I asked you yesterday because I saw an ad for, I think it was Cadillac, and they were giving free Wi-Fi in this SUV, and I didn't know that. I suppose you can put Wi-Fi in any place, right? I mean, you can put GPSs and all that business, but the car industry, well, Ford shut down, GM shut down, and now they're going to be making something ventilators.
Ventilators, yep.
And Trump, he enacted that. What am I thinking? What is
War Production Act.
Production Act. But he never ordered them to do it until yesterday. Well, okay, put them and now they have to have a little time, I suppose, to retool to make this, right?
Yep.
So even if they could miraculously do this in 2 weeks, what you've taken a manufacturer, a plant that's tooled to make cars, now you want to build something else? I mean, it's going to have some real wizardry going on there, but at any rate...
I believe in American ingenuity. They can figure this out.
Heck yeah. Who would have ever thought we'd be doing this? And heck, if I'd known that we could have done this, I would have left AM radio that's going down the tubes years ago. And we were there, and I appreciate all the good things that the folks at Alpha Media and WLIP did for us from November 1st in 2013. And then we were still playing them on Channel 14. So we're coming up on April 6th with our 24th year of this, and I never would have thought that, you know, back in the day when we were still at the studio, we were doing a live show that would air, but it was
Channel
only
14.
in Channel 14, but it would air only in the city of Kenosha that was servicing Spectrum, or Time Warner Cable at the time, and I think that was before AT&T and whoever else came in. And
No, AT&T was never part of that.
no, I know, but at one time wasn't Time Warner the only game in town, right?
Yeah, well, Spectrum is now the only game in town.
Right. But at any rate, we don't have to worry about that. If you don't have Spectrum or whatever, you can just do this via the internet or YouTube. So now the city outlined, because we've got an election coming up here. Actually, it's a week from Tuesday, isn't it?
Yep.
And they still encourage getting an absentee ballot. Send a request to the city clerk, and it used to have there was a deadline by March 18th, but now it's to request a ballot is April 2nd by 4:30, so they can mail it out to you. All you have to do is mail it, have somebody sign it, and send it. They pay the postage, and that'll ensure that. Do you think, Elmo, that by doing that, there's going to be a greater, like in this kind of election, hardly anybody's going to vote, that it might encourage more voters to participate?
To do what? To
go absentee ballot.
Yeah, but I think the governor wants to send one to everybody.
Oh, well, that can't.
Which is impossible.
Right. You got to sign up, right? And when you
That's
sign
right.
up, you have to show
He just
driver's
says, we should
license.
just send and cancel in-person voting. Well, number one, that's entirely unconstitutional.
Right. But some places are going.
Well, and then again, most of the stuff he's doing with his safer at home thing is unconstitutional too. But they don't care.
No. But some states are voting by online, right?
No, there's no online
There isn't?
voting.
Oh, okay. I
No.
thought somebody was proposing.
That's the most insane thing in the world.
Well, yeah.
Talk about voter fraud.
The Russians got Trump elected, so anyway, there's stay out of the parks. Everything else is basically closed, and we've got ways to go. And I don't think we have peaked. At least the forecast are to peak before the things start to decline is going to be at least 3 weeks away from what all counts are. Yesterday we talked briefly about Wisconsin golfers petitioning the governor to open up the golf courses. We're going to have a nice early spring. The weather's nice, and they had some special rules. And this guy went online, and he's got 40,000 people that have signed on to this petition. And it really makes sense because, so what, you close the clubhouse, but everything can be done by a kiosk or by credit card. And as far as, you got one person per cart, or if you're walking, that's fine. And
You got your own clubs, your own balls, your own glove, your own tees, everything.
And
you're
so
not
they got
sharing.
this little gizmo, right? Describe this, when the ball doesn't actually go in the hole, you don't have to reach down.
Well, they're just not putting the plastic cup in all the way.
Oh, you just hit the pin.
They're going to leave it sticking out, and no, they're going to leave the cup an inch out of the ground.
Oh, I see.
Instead
So
of
you
putting
hit-
it all the way in. So
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, it would make sense to me to get out, because people will have been enclosed in cabin fever. Great exercise to get out and start playing.
now, if you were to test positive for the Chinese virus and were out there on the golf course, hit a big slice, whacked some guy in the head with your ball and killed him, would he be determined to have died from the Chinese virus?
versus my. That poses an interesting. I don't know what the ruling on that would be, but there are people that have been.
2-stroke penalty.
So what if you're dead? Get up. rub some mud on the thing. But there have been cases where people have, like in these short par threes, and they say, okay, we're waving you on. In fact, at Pets, there's I think it's the fourth, and people would get to the green and wave these other guys on. Well, one guy got hit in the head. He didn't die. But they quit that because if you think about it, for those who played there, you're looking right into the sun.
Yep.
And he looked right in the sun and didn't hit him right in the lookers, and down he went. But there have been people who have died, and I think when you go golfing, you play at your own risk. And I've had cases where a fairway will follow a road or highway, and you hit one off and smash this guy's windshield, and they come looking at you. Well, if your homeowner's insurance policy might pay it off, but usually the guy's car insurance will pay it.
Yep. No, I heard it's the fault of the driver.
Right. So his insurance would pay.
Pay for it. Yeah, there was actually a court case about that. So hey, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's it.
His defense is, how did I know this guy was a horse crap golfer?
If you didn't want to get hit by a golf ball, you should take a road that's not next to a golf course. That's what that's what the ruling said. So.
We are going to take a quick break, and when we get back, my granddaughter Samantha is going to call us with her version of the weather, and I think she's down in Hilton, but we'll have to talk to her. Samantha, if you're listening, wait till we come back, and then you have the number. It's 262-597.
How long are we going for?
What do you want? 2 minutes?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yep. A caller on there.
Oh, we do? Well, we can come back and take it.
Yeah, they dropped. That doesn't work. Oh. We're back.
Once again, a very good morning to everybody. This is Uncle Scottie Barter, along with my personal caregiver, Elmo the Insane Schneider, and we welcome you to our
I think I screwed this up.
Kenosha Today Breakfast Club.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, here we go. Which we plan to stream live on every Saturday in our normal 10 o'clock spot, and then we are coming to live every afternoon at 2 p.m. It is 28 minutes after 10 here in the Kenosha Today Nation, bringing you the best or as best we can in news, weather, whatever sports we have, entertainment. Again, we invite you to join the thousands of our fans who have already signed up and liked us on Facebook. We are brought to you by our major sponsors, Barter's Financial Planning Services, the Union Park Tavern, and a host of many other very fine local businesses. And we invite you to give us a call with our new number, as you can see on the screen, 262-597-3020. 3020. And now, Samantha, this is, if you're watching, this is the time I'm going to build up the act here. Today's Kenosha Today's Radar Weather is sponsored by Capo Web Design, which is a locally owned web design and development business here in Kenosha, specializing in website design, development, maintenance, site services.
We want to take a call before
and
this?
services. This is probably her, who actually designed and is currently...
847 number.
Oh, okay. All right. Currently developing our site, KenoshaToday.com. For more information, you can visit www.capoweb.com. All right, let's take this call. Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Hold on.
All right.
Now we go.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning. This is Ganga.
Hey, Ganga.
Yes, I'm preparing my world famous Pakistani bleach mimosa. Would you care for me to drop one over for you?
Is that proper social distancing?
Well, no, I was just dropping it at your garage door.
What, you don't have the code?
I forgot it.
Well, it's written on every bathroom wall in the city of Kenosha. So how are you handling this social distancing?
Well, I'm handling myself well. I'm handling loneliness not so well.
How's Clyde, your camel, handling this?
I dipped him in dippity-doo and hand cleaner.
Dippity doo. What about Brill cream?
Oh, yeah, you remember that stuff? Oh, Brill cream is brilliant.
Do you remember what the slogan was for Brill Cream?
A little dab will do you.
That's
There you go.
right.
You don't win anything by knowing that this is not a trivia. That's a trivia question, but yeah, you're the smartest guy on the planet.
Personal motto, too, isn't that your personal motto, too? A little
I knew as soon as I said that I should have not done that. I want that back, but
yeah.
all right.
I'm glad to see that you're both surviving quite well. You look brilliant on the telephone today.
Well, I'm still
Brilliant on the
practicing
telephone.
my patriotic movement, and maybe we can bring. You're a patriot of well, not America, but Pakistan, right?
Certainly not. I'm American through and through.
Were you ever drafted in the Pakistani army?
No, but I was promoted to head toilet cleaner, and it was quite an honor for me.
Well, I can see that. You know, in our army, if you had talents like that, they would make you a fry cook. But at least in Pakistan, they put you where you can do the best job. And obviously, being a toilet cleaner is right up your old alley. Excuse the pun.
They only invented toilets.
How's the toilet paper shortage holding out down there in Illinois?
I've still got my 10 cases.
Yeah. What about hand sanitizer?
I make my own.
God. Yeah. Elmo and I were just thinking, we really miss talking to you on Saturdays. What?
I said, in my, don't forget to advertise my good friend, number of Patel's law offices of Patel, and Mahoney.
One call, that's all. To
Yep.
Patel.
That's correct.
In Mahoney. What's...
Have a wonderful day, gentlemen.
All right.
All
Go,
right.
take it easy.
Thank you.
All right.
We have another call.
Okay. You tell me when.
Hello.
Oh, good
Hello.
morning.
When it goes green there on the
Oh,
screen.
when it goes green.
Hello.
Who's this?
Hello. It's your lovely granddaughter, Sammy.
Oh, Sammy. So, now you're going to do the weather for me, right?
Yeah, but unfortunately I am not in Kenosha, so
Well, that's
I
okay.
have better weather to tell your viewers.
Okay. So where are you?
I'm in Hilton Head. I'm in South Carolina
What are you doing there?
with, well, we're enjoying our quarantine by going to the beach and playing tennis most days.
Are you with...
It's not like much of a quarantine.
yeah, are you with my buddy
Yeah.
Aladdin?
Yes, sir.
All right, before we get to the weather, his parents are there, right?
Yes.
Let me talk to his father.
No.
Come on. I want to make sure,
Oh,
well, I want to make sure there's
No.
certain restrictions down there, like when he goes to sleep, that he puts you in one room and him in another room and locks the door, and he's got the only key.
I sleep in a bedroom with his two sisters.
Oh, so it's a family.
And
Well,
he sleeps in another bedroom with his two brothers and two younger boys that are here with us. They're family friends.
is this a like a condo, or is it a big house? Or
Yeah, it's a big house.
well, it doesn't sound like you're practicing social distancing.
Well, this is our social distancing. It's a big enough house where like everyone is still like apart, but it's not like we're like going to the mall or something and like.
Well, is everything pretty much closed down? Because Hilton Head's a tourist place, isn't it?
Yeah. Everything is mostly closed down except for like the fishing charters and stuff. Because they only like allow like 6 people on the boat or something.
Oh,
It's a really
okay.
big boat, so I think they like elected not to close that down.
Well, that's a
But
big
also-
that's a big industry. Hey, how's now? You said you're sleeping with his sisters.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 questions. One, how are they putting up with all your snoring?
I do not know her.
Well, I heard. Well, somebody gave me that rumor, and that it's snoring and those barnyard noises you make at night.
I'll be.
Hey, can I tell this story? I don't know if I've told this one. This was 6 years ago when my other daughter Nancy, which is your aunt, wanted me to watch Morgan, who was 4 at the time, for 8 hours. And I was a little concerned that what was I, a 64-year-old, going to do to entertain a 4-year-old? But I went along with this as long as you came, and you were 11, I believe. So you come into my house with one of those computer tablets with the thumbs and all that business. And you recall me asking you what you were doing? And you said, well, I'm hooking up to your Wi-Fi. And I recall saying, well, one, what is Wi-Fi and how do you know I got it? So then your aunt calls me about 8:30, as I recall, asked me how we were all getting along. And I said, well, good, Sammy's brought out this, we're going to play this new game called Duct Tape Grandpa to a Chair. And I said, the next thing I know, there's some lady that's pounding a for sale sign in my house. You took Morgan, took the keys to my Jeep, and a copy of my will and said we were going to see an attorney. And I thought, I got this pretty much under control.
Yeah.
You don't recall that, do you? She there?
Nope. Nope, she dropped.
Oh, yeah. Well, hanging up on your grandpa on live television. Geez, that's not going to end up well. But anyway, Samantha, if you call us back, because I didn't get your weather report, because
Right.
it's not very good here on the Kenosha State weather deck. It's 43 degrees, although it's supposed to get warmer, rain most of the night. I think we probably had at least an inch of rain.
Yeah, it rained pretty good last night.
So again, we're waiting for I'd like to hear what the weather forecast is in Hilton. It's probably about 80. And, some of those, is that her?
Yeah, it's just the sign-off thing.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, there's the weather. We're here for you for all your weather information, or when severe weather strikes. And then in that case, we don't really care. Elmo, we got to get to the top 10 here.
Uh-oh.
We only do this on Saturdays.
And we got to get some top 10 music, too.
Okay.
So good.
But we don't have it. So this was written in our home office on the deck here at Barter Manor. This week's top 10 thought-provoking category. These are the top 10 signs Governor Evers' stay-at-home lockdown will soon be over. Number 10. That's a new bell, too. You liked it? Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi seen slow dancing in the Rose Garden. Number 9. The Easter Bunny has tested positive for COVID-19, so the governor canceled his stimulus check. Number 8. He denied toilet paper hoarders their unemployment insurance. Number 7. Dow Jones is back working as a stripper at On the Border. Number 6. China and Italy are offering special bankruptcy travel packages. Number 5. Stimulus checks are being printed by Kenosha trolley drivers. Number 4. Local hospitals are allowed to provide taxidermy services. Number 3. His original order, Safer at Home, no longer includes the garage code here at Barter Manor to be published. Number 2, Tony replaced COVID 19 with DRUNKO 8. And the number 1 sign that Governor Evers' lockdown will end soon, mandated that Uncle Scottie's dating pool continues to practice social distancing and to never call me again.
Okay, we got called back, but we're not connected to our phone thing.
What happened to that?
Hell if I know, just disconnected.
Oh,
Stuff goes wrong.
okay. All right. Well, is that her number?
I can't
Okay,
see.
oh.
I'm blind as a bat looking at that stuff there. So
That's her.
okay,
Sammy, hang on. Hang up your phone. Hang up your phone.
so I gotta like shut everything down to
okay,
reconnect
good.
it. So I can't do that. So,
All right. Hang on. Yeah. I'm going to call you.
she's still well. It could be.
Hello, I had some technical difficulties.
Do you know what's still being in my will is all about? What?
The Wi-Fi, speaking of Wi-Fi cut out,
Oh.
and it just doesn't call.
Oh, see. Now, if you were here at Barter Manor, we have Wi-Fi, as you know. All right. So give me your version of the weather, temperature.
Let's see, today it's in the high 70s all throughout the day, and it's going to be sunshine and no clouds.
That's it.
Yep, that's it.
That's
Sunny
all?
and warm.
That's all you got.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you, as your grandfather, that you will behave yourself, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you know there's going to be repercussions if you don't, correct?
Yes, sir.
Because you know what the worst case could happen. When you get back here, you'll be quarantined here at Barter Manor for 2 or 3 weeks. How do you like that?
No,
What?
I think I would lose my mind.
Besides, I need somebody to dust around here. Things are a little on the rough side. All right, when you coming back?
I'm not sure. I think like a week or so.
Oh, you miss your brothers?
Only Dylan.
Oh, you telling? Oh, what is? Owen's your twin.
That just scares me away.
Do you?
Elmo being glued at my hip.
How are the rest of the boys in Kenosha taking your absence? Are they all crying and? They,
No.
yeah.
I
Miss you?
know an interesting fact here. Dylan actually slept in my bed. Well, not last night. He might have last night, but the night before.
Well, you better have that thing hand sanitized.
I know. I
Before
told
you
him, I said, Dylan, do you really miss me that much?
So you miss your mom, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't hear the good news. She bought you a brand new car.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that happened.
Well, I guess you didn't catch the news. Well, you heard it from me first. I think it's a brand new 2020, one of those little sports cars, red.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly what I want. A sports car.
okay.
Uh,
Well, you behave yourself and give Aladdin, tell him I said hi.
of course.
All right. Good night. Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye.
Good night. Yeah, Samantha is 17 years old. Mm-hmm. And sweet little girl. All right, where were we at here? We did the top 10. We got, it's 43 minutes after 10 here. A couple things before we wind down is United, some of the airlines needed this stimulus, and but they're so far behind. For example, in this article, United says it won't fully secure the financial losses, and the only way they were going to get part of the stimulus is if they kept their workers working. Well, the United gets the money, or gets committed to money, and he lays off the guys anyway. Mm-hmm. They were supposed to get $25 billion in grants to bail them out, on the condition again that they wouldn't furlough their workers. But they have cut down. 3 million people filed for unemployment just last week. That's all over. For non-essential businesses have been forced to shut down. Some may never recover. Smaller businesses, Elmo, if they've been out for a month,
They're gone.
the bankruptcy courts are going to be jammed. And then that's gonna trickle down, as we talked yesterday, a supplier that does this for that, and it's gonna really hurt everybody.
That's right.
And when the airlines have cut their April schedule by 60%, and their planes are flying less than
Empty.
20% capacity, why even fly? I mean, why don't you consolidate flights instead of putting 10 or 20 people on them because you have a schedule? Redo your schedule. That's what I'm thinking. And then we were talking about the baseball, if it was going to recover. And here's my suggestion. The Brewers, for example, this would be a marketing for the Brewers. Somebody else can figure out something else. Moved to Miller Park, I believe it was 2000 or 2001. There was a year delay because of the crane accident. But let's just say it's 2001. What they ought to do is roll back all the prices for the seats, the concessions, parking, everything to what they were in 2001. And the players, because you can't keep making millions of dollars because nobody's going to come see you, should take a proration rollback just for this year only. And because otherwise there's nobody on those prices. If they don't adjust them, nobody's going to have any money to go pay $12 for a can of beer and a couple $100 for seats. So that's my suggestion. And when you hand out the Nobel Peace Prize, Elmo, they'll find this, right?
I thought it was the Corbell Peace Prize.
Nobel Peace. Thank you for correcting me. This guy, Jerry Falwell Jr., he was ordered to shut down his Liberty University. And after spring break was over, I think it was about a week ago, he left it open. And now he's taking some real heat because he left this open and put all these people at risk. And the kids, they went, and plus not only the students at risk, all the faculty. And even though they're trying, as many instructors are trying to stay on the campus and teach online, but just having them there, and he didn't, they're calling him, he's liable for failing to safeguard the health and safety of their students and coercing employees and staff, and he's putting everybody at risk. He's setting himself up for a negligent lawsuit, I think. And here's some good news that the president authorized, I believe it was yesterday. If you have a student loan, all payments are suspended through April 30th.
September 30th.
What did I say?
April.
Oh.
Can't you read?
Yeah, you're right, Amber. It is September.
I can see that from here.
I
can't
have to
see,
take my glasses
I can't
off
see
to
our
read,
monitor
and,
screen.
I got April on my mind. And if you've ever seen April, you'll know why. At any rate, through September 30th, and it's going to be treated just as if you paid it. It's not postponed, according to this. And all the interest and everything else is going to be waived. I think what they ought
Where's all this money coming from?
Yeah. I don't think, I don't know if this, the federal government gave them a reprieve, but if they're going to stamp this paid in full or for those months, I don't know who's going to pay for it.
I think they just got to.
Like a 6 months.
You just defer the payment and
Right.
the clock stops ticking and it picks up back up.
Right, the same
Back
place.
then. So,
And I've heard that may happen in the auto industry for leases for 6 months. You just postpone it and your lease will just go 6 months further. And the same with the payments. I've heard that proposal. I haven't seen anything that's been officially enacted. And then I also heard the same thing. I don't know if they'll do that for housing, but if they don't, at least in the interest portion, the same with charge cards, waive the interest for 6 months. Bankruptcy after bankruptcy, I mean, this would be a good time to go to law school and pick up my bankruptcy, my law degree. And then you'll have guys scamming that too, right?
That hasn't worked out well for you.
One call, don't call me again. And finally, this story, this is out of New York University, it's University Tisch School of the Arts. And this is where you learn how to dance and sing and things of that nature. Well, the kids want their money back because they didn't sign up for this. And the president of the university, dean of Tisch, she says she doesn't have the authority to issue that money. And students have, again, started an online petition to call for partial tuition reimbursement, and they've got 2,200 signatures. And what do you think, Elmo? That's a bona fide reason to get some of your tuition back if you can't provide something for that nature. I mean, what are you going to do? The kids are out. They don't get
Yep.
the education, but we are in troubled times. And like on this show, if you paid to watch this, we're not reimbursing them, are we? You get
Just
what you
paid
pay
to
for.
watch this.
So we've had a good week. We had a couple minor problems on Monday and Tuesday, but once we got this off
And today, so
and today
I need an equipment upgrade here again to make this
for
thing
the
work.
phone, but we were able to get that. But that's minor things. At least we're putting the plugs in the right
Yeah, I
holes.
need another machine so we can dial in without having everybody here to log in on there. So that's the.
But we have this special.
Anybody want to contribute to our equipment here? Be
Hey, we'll give it the advertising. Really, if you got a business or whatever you want, what kind of money are we talking about? A couple $100?
Let me research it. I'll get
That's
back
it.
to you.
But in all reality, if somebody wants to make a contribution and we'll just like we do for Kappa Web Design, and put your logo up there, and we'll do it for 6 months or whatever it takes, and join the Kenosha Today Nation. Well, Elmo, what do you think? You got anything else?
No, not really. It's we did 5 shows this week, so that's
We'll be back on Monday
2:00.
at 2 p.m. and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know, we got to start doing like Lonnie Palmer does. He's got Thursday poll day, and we got to have a theme for each day.
No, we can work on
We're
it.
going to work on that. Thursday, I know, probably is an attraction there, but it's working out good. People are going to
Tipsy Tuesday.
Tipsy Tuesday. Well, we'll have to work on that. Well, folks, I guess that is going to wrap it up for the March 28th edition of the Kenosha State Breakfast Club. And we want to thank our sponsors, Barter's Financial Planning Services, the Union Park Tavern, Kenoshans for Open Honest Government, and Charlie B's Kids for Cancer Treatment Foundation. We've been streaming to you live this morning from the Barter Manor studio located on the corner of Happy and What Went Wrong. And so for Elmo and myself, until we tee it up Monday at 2 p.m.,
2 p.m.
we thank you for the privilege.
You
of
can
your
watch
time.
this on the Kenosha Today with Scott Barter YouTube channel, and the past shows are all there, and this one will show up sometime today, I guess. So.
I'm Scottie Barter, and have a very pleasant and safe afternoon.